Good evening, friends and family. Today is Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. It's National Meatball Day. And guess what? I had meatballs for lunch and I didn't even know it was National Meatball Day. These are the headlines for the day.
Sports. A triathlete who's a former triathlon world champion was competing in a virtual bike race from her house in Colorado. As she was in second place, her husband came in to encourage her, but what he actually did was end her race.
He what?
Ended her race.
Oh my.
He walked behind her bike and accidentally tripped on the power cord, and her chance at placing in the race was over. She continued racing, however, and completed the 55-mile race. Thankfully, she was good-natured about it. She knows that accidents happen, and she promises not to seek revenge during her husband's virtual bike race next weekend.
Oh, man.
More sports. Many athletes are competing in virtual races, like our last story, and some are running the distance that they would have completed, like last weekend's canceled Cherry Blossom 10-miler, around their neighborhoods. They completed it around their neighborhoods. This is something that our mom has been doing since Nathan was a baby. 8 years ago, she signed up for a 10-mile race. Nathan loved her so much and hated everyone else that she couldn't spend many hours away from him. So instead of running the real race in DC, she ran it near our house. Since then, she has completed 2 homemade 10-milers, 2 homemade half marathons, and last year she and her running buddy Laurie even completed a homemade marathon. Mom, why do you like to run homemade races instead of real ones?
Oh, there are many reasons, Caleb, why I enjoy running homemade races. Number one, I love that I can just walk out my door and run the distance I want to run, and I save myself so much time. I also do not have to pay an entrance fee to run in a homemade race. Another thing is that I don't have to get a t-shirt that I'm not going to wear because it's way too big for me.
Smart.
I know, so I love it.
She's only 5'1".
I'm not even 5'1".
She's 5 flat.
I know, good grief. So yeah, homemade races are the best.
Naked Egg. We told you yesterday that we would have more Naked Egg news to share with you. Well, we haven't done any schoolwork yet, and it's 6:30 in the evening. Since we were playing so nicely all day, my mom decided to give us a day off during spring break. Thanks, Mom. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We really will have Naked Egg news.
Thoughts from a 102-year-old woman. Have you ever met someone older than 100 years old? I haven't. If they are 100, that means that they were born in 1920. Can you imagine what your neighborhood would look like back in 1920? Ours wouldn't even exist. Lucille Ellison is 102 years old. She was born right before a global flu pandemic. She was a teenager during the Great Depression, and she was a school teacher and wife during World War II. She is now living through the coronavirus pandemic. She knows how to cope with uncertain times. What's her advice for us? She says not to get stressed about planning far ahead because you can't do it. Just plan each day in the morning. She lives by her own advice. Every day she checks on her family through Zoom. She makes meals and bakes desserts to leave, and she makes meals to leave on the front porch for her son. In February, she cooked for 25 people. She is a generous, energetic, and kind woman. I think I'll take her advice.
Today's weather was beautiful with a high of 75 degrees and a low of 54 degrees, and it was very sunny. But in the morning there were some showers. Tomorrow will be not as good, but with a high of 67 and a low of 39, and it will be stormy and through the morning and the midday.
What about the winds, Isaac?
Very fast.
Okay.
Questions from kids. Now it's time for questions from kids.
We have a question. Caleb, which invention is more important, the airplane or the rocket? Please explain.
Great question, Emma. Everyone might have a different opinion, but I think the invention of the airplane is more important than the rocket. Why do I think that? I think it because airplanes are used commercially and rockets are not. There were around 100 rocket launches last year, but that doesn't compare with around 50 million airline flights last year. Also, airplanes carry millions of people per year. If airplanes disappeared from the world, there would be huge changes. If rockets disappeared, the changes wouldn't be nearly as big.
That's all for now.
Bye!